What is going on? Happy Monday! It's movie review Monday, finally, of the movie Cruella, which I really liked. And I'm sorry I haven't posted, and I've been talking about I'm going to post it, especially if you listen to me on the radio, but I didn't like my other video, and then I wanted a new light and a new phone. And I'm like, because I use my hands so much when I'm talking about these movies. So anyways, now I'm posting it. So thank you for watching already. If you have not seen the movie Cruella on Disney Plus or in theaters, spoiler alerts, spoiler alert, there are some spoilers, but I'm going to skim through the movie because there are so many details in the movie. I mean, first of all, the costumes are amazing. Second of all, the music is impeccable. Like, it fits the era. It's like 1970s music, London. It's just everything. The whole movie is beautifully done. It's, explains a lot. It is such an origin story of Cruella. Like, I could watch this movie and then watch 101 Dalmatians, the cartoon, and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They did a beautiful job of an origin story for Cruella. So, that being said, 2 thumbs up. Really good movie. If you haven't seen it and you like Disney movies, watch it. It starts out where Cruella is born, and Emma Stone, who plays Cruella, is narrating it. So her name is actually Estella. And from the time she's 3 years old, she's kind of a punk. And that's what her mother gives her the nickname Cruella. She goes to school. That's where she meets Anita, Anita is in 101 Dalmatians, which I loved how Anita and Roger are both in this movie. It's like, I love that when they put all the details into a movie. So anyway, she's at school. She's bullied a lot. She gets in trouble a lot. So then the school wants to suspend her. But then her mother's like, we're going to take you out of school. We're going to go to London. But on the way, I want to stop by a friend's house to help me with some stuff. So they go to this friend's house, but it's like this big mansion, and there's this beautiful party going on. So Estella, who is also Cruella, she's like, I can't help but go into this party. And she has a dog that she found in between time, and his name is Buddy. So she does like dogs, which I thought was neat. They put it in there. So she goes into this party, and then this bald guy, it looks as though he recognizes her. He's like, you better put your hat on. We got to get you out of here. But then these 3 Dalmatians come out, and they try to go after her. So she runs outside. She sees her mom talking to this other woman who's all in costume. And then she falls, and the Dalmatians jump over her and then push over her mother over the cliff. So her mother dies. And of course, Estella at the time, but she's going to become Cruella, thinks she murdered her mom. So she's like, I got to run away. So she ends up in London, where she meets Horace and Jasper, who are kids as well. So she's about 12 years old at this point. And, she ends up in their little scheme to be thieves. So they just steal stuff. And they do this for about 10 years. So then it flash forwards to 10 years later. Now it's Emma Stone as Estella. And basically all she does is create disguises for their, thieving, their jobs they do where they steal stuff. And she's very good at it. So she's always been someone who really liked fashion and wanted to be a designer. That was her goal in life, is to be a designer and to be something her mother is proud of. In between time, Jasper, who's the main, and they're from the movie too. I love it. All the details they hit in this movie is just so awesome. Anyway, so he gets her an application to work for the House of Baroness, which is, the Baroness is this big designer in London, very well known. Estella idolizes her, and she gets in, but of course she works as the maid. So every day she asks her supervisor if she can work at the window, and he just rejects her. She wants to redesign the window. She's like, I design, I'm really good with clothes. And he's like, no, no, no. So it's one night, she's cleaning up, she gets a little tipsy, and she redoes a whole window. So that next day, and she falls asleep. So of course she gets fired, but while she's getting fired, the Baroness shows up, loves the window. And since she's fired, she's like, here's my card. She has her guy give the card to Estella. She's like, be there tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. So now she works for the Baroness, which is her dream job. She's so excited. So she ends up working for her. Of course, she spits out great designs right away, and her and the Baroness bond. They have a similar taste in design, and, you know, they have like a decent rapport with each other. And then she sees a necklace that the Baroness is wearing, which her mother had given her earlier on in the movie. And she had lost it at that party. So then she realizes they were at the Baroness's party, and the Baroness took the necklace. And so she's like, I need to get this necklace back. So then that's when the persona of Cruella comes out, because she wants to get this necklace. And the Baroness is like, Emma Thompson plays her so well. She's like this very snooty, smart, mean woman. And that's the thing. Cruella isn't that way yet, but she could get to that level. So obviously her and Boris and Jasper keep up this charade so they could, or make a charade at this party the Baroness is having so she can get the necklace. But she ended up not getting the necklace. And then it starts with this back and forth. She creates this whole Cruella form, Estella. So her original name is Estella. Now she goes by Cruella, but just like part-time, she still works for the Baroness. So it's like back and forth, and it's crazy. And just the way that it is acted is just so awesome to me. Like, I cannot speak any more great about this movie. It's so good. And I actually thought it was going to be a bad movie. I feel bad I thought that, because it's actually a beautiful movie. Beautifully made. Anyways, so they're back and forth, stuff happens. And then one of the Dalmatians, which is the Baroness's Dalmatians, eats the necklace, or eats something. Anyways, so she kidnaps the Dalmatians, and Boris and Horace have to, you know, make sure the dog lets out whatever she's looking for. I'm pretty sure it's the necklace, because she wants that necklace. That is the one memory of her mother. And in between time, she has like this whole fashion house being formed at their hideout. So she has this guy who's like runs a vintage dress shop. So she can create all these, you know, dresses to go to the Baroness's party, and, you know, to kind of taunt the Baroness. Anyways, the Baroness figures out that Estella is Cruella, because there's so many things that happen that point to Estella, because she's still working for the Baroness, but being Cruella, like at parties, to taunt the Baroness, which I think is a good dynamic. Anyways, she finds their hideout. She burns the hideout out, but Cruella is saved by the bald guy at the beginning of the movie who told her to get out of the party when she was a little girl. Turns out the Baroness is Cruella's mother, and that the father was the well-to-do guy. He passed away, and then but before then, the Baroness had Estella, and she didn't want anything to do with her. So her mother, the one that raised her, was actually a maid in the Baroness's house. And the bald guy, I don't know his name, he's actually been in a lot of stuff though. So he's like, you know, you're entitled to all this stuff because that's your father. So she's like, okay, so in order to become who she's gonna become, she has to kill off Estella. So there's this whole party being thrown, and of course her and the Baroness, it's actually the same party at the same place that her foster mother got killed at. And basically the Baroness killed her mother. And that's what drives Estella to be Cruella. Like, that is the driving force. And it's so good. The way it is acted by Emma Stone, just for the acting alone, watch this movie, it's so good. So basically, they have the same interaction at the end, towards the end of the movie. And the Baroness thinks Estella dies. She didn't. She comes back as, she didn't die. She put a parachute in her dress, so she survived. And then she is Cruella now. The Baroness no longer exists. She's done for. And then Estella, now Cruella, is fully in charge of the whole, what the Baroness had now is Estella's. She's a rightful owner. And at the end of the movie, she gives a Dalmatian puppy to Anita and Roger. So side note, Anita and Roger are throughout the movie. Anita writes for a newspaper, and when Estella's trying to build up her Cruella image, she has Anita write stories about her. And Roger was the Baroness's lawyer. So he's barely in the movie, but they're in there. So at the end of the movie, she gives them Dalmatian, so obviously it hints towards the whole 101 Dalmatian movie. So that's pretty much it. I know I skipped a lot, but I'm sure a lot of people seen it. And maybe I got some details wrong, but anyways, it's such a good movie. You have to watch it. If you have not watched it yet, you're crazy. And you know, Emma Stone is just so amazing. She's and that's what I love, when American actors play British actors and they keep the accent the whole time. Because you know, there's some actors who play American actors who play like English or British characters, and it loses it. Where Emma kept it the whole time. She was just so you gotta watch it. 2 thumbs up. Great, streaming on Disney Plus. I don't think it's in theaters anymore. So if you have Disney Plus, watch it, love it. Like this video if you want to, and then keep watching or subscribe so you can be updated on when I do other reviews. Thank you for watching.